Okay, guys, so today we're going to do a little bit, something a little bit different. I'm going to be behind the camera and I'm just going to kind of show you some things that have been game changers for me. And you'll also get kind of like a mini house tour at the same time. So, the first thing that I want to show you guys is my supplement shelf. It's actually kind of empty looking because I used to take a lot more supplements in the past. And as my condition has gotten worse, I have had to stop taking certain supplements because I became sensitive to them and they didn't agree with me as well as they used to. So, this is mostly what I take. And the reason these are game changers for me, and again, I'm not telling you guys to take these. It depends on your doctor. Some of these I don't even take all the time because they still have side effects. So sometimes I have to skip a day or, just to minimize side effects. But this is basically the stuff that I take every day. Most of these, I can't even skip a day because I will feel it immediately. So things like serapeptase, MSM, L-glutamine, those are daily, and I immediately will notice a difference if I skip a day. And especially with my gut. So a lot of these are for gut health. That's where I have a lot of my problems. So they help with stomach and gut issues, my oxalate sensitivity, that kind of thing. Advil, obviously, Advil and Benadryl are not supplements, but they are things that I take on a regular basis to help with like histamine and pain and inflammation. But the supplements are a game changer for me because I can't skip them. I have to take them every day, and they do improve my condition enough that I'm able to eat more comfortably. You know, the functions of my body are able to work better. I feel less tired, less fatigued. I have less pain, I guess. To be honest, I haven't stopped taking these since I started seeing my doctor like a decade ago. So I don't know what would happen if I completely stopped. I think they also help with skin, hair, and nails. So I think they've helped a lot with acne, with eczema, stuff like that. So I don't even want to know what would happen if I stopped taking these. I've seen the consequences when I've had to stop some of my other supplements. And that's, typically increased stomach discomfort, increased digestive issues. So it does scare me to become intolerant to the few supplements that I'm still able to take because they do make a pretty big difference. I do have a multivitamin back there. I can't take that every day because it can cause constipation, but I've tried to sort of work something out where I take it maybe like twice a week, especially right now during the pandemic because I need those vital minerals like, what is it? I do take a special iron supplement. It's back there somewhere. It's not part of that multivitamin, but things like zinc, vitamin C, stuff like that that can help you fight off a virus if you do get sick. I have other stuff up here as well. I have DGL, which I take on occasion. I can't take it all the time because it does have, I think, some kind of alcohol sugar in it, and alcohol sugars are not recommended. I also have caprylic acid, which I also don't take all the time, but this is good to because I've been having recurrent like like a small intestinal infection. I'm guessing it's probably like SIBO or SIFO. And so the caprylic acid has been a really big help, but I have to again be very careful taking it because it can irritate my stomach. It can cause constipation over time. So these some of these supplements are taken as needed. Some of these are taken every single day because if I skip a day, I obviously will not feel that great. So that's my supplement. Underneath the supplement shelf is a prescription medication shelf, which I'm not even going to bother to show you guys because I don't take those hardly ever. I mean, it's a real desperate situation when I have to take prescription medication And even when I do, it sometimes doesn't even help me. I typically will have more side effects than positive, helpful effects. So I am unfortunately one of those people that cannot take prescription medications because they really don't do much. And whatever they do is negative. So we can leave that, and we can now go to the next game changer in my arsenal. So we're going to go to the next room. So I have an oxygen concentrator. Excuse the mess. I have an oxygen concentrator. So I got this one used, and I got it probably almost a decade ago when I first started seeing the doctor that treated me for Lyme disease. And so I got it used from a gentleman. I think his mother had passed away or something. I know it's kind of creepy, but these can be very, very expensive. The good thing is that it's like a one-time expense. I was fortunate enough that it was still under warranty when I bought it off of him. So there were a few repairs that needed to be done and cleaning. One thing that I will tell you, if you do buy this used, sorry, it's trying to focus because there's no light in here. If you do buy one of these used, take it, check and see if it's under warranty. If it is, get it cleaned out, get it checked out before you start using it, because it could be contaminated, and that actually happened to me. So word of warning, make sure that it undergoes a cleaning, even if you have to pay for it prior to using it, because it could be contaminated with mold or with, anything else, because the filter or whatever has not been changed. And this gentleman had not even taken a look in it. And again, I was new to this, so I didn't know. But we did find out it was under warranty. It needed a few repairs, all covered by the warranty. I think it was under warranty for like 2 or 3 years after I had bought it off of this guy. The good thing is that it only cost me, I think, like $300 or $400, which is a lot less than the actual retail price, which I think can be up to $800 or so. And this is a continuous oxygen concentrator. So it's not like the canisters that you see older people using. This will continually produce oxygen. Let me show you guys. You just flip a switch. It makes that noise and it starts running. This thing is for hydration so that your nose doesn't get dried out. And I have a nasal cannula. And it just produces oxygen continually, so you don't have to go and get it refilled. You don't have to carry a canister around with you. Just have like a long nasal cannula. You could get up to 100 feet long tubing, and so you could just kind of walk around the house with it. It is annoying, but it helps me enough that I'm willing to deal with how annoying it is. It helps with my energy. It keeps me from feeling too tired. It helps with fogginess. So if you have brain fog and stuff like that, at least for me, it does help with that. I notice the difference when I'm off of it, because I'll usually not wear it like on Saturday and Sunday. That way I can take a break from it. And so it helps. I think it may also help with body pain. That was one of the things that my doctor had told me when I first started using it, that it would help with body pain. And I didn't really have significant body pain, but I haven't really noticed. Sometimes I will have body pain if I stray from my diet or if I overexert myself, and just, with hormonal fluctuations. But I've been fortunate that I don't have the severe body pain that other people with my condition have. So it could possibly be the oxygen. So it's lasted me, almost a decade. I think it might have been last year or the year before. I think the year before, in 2020, I did have to actually take it in for repairs and pay out of pocket for the first time. So, for the first time in a decade, that's not bad, because, I could have bought a brand new one. It was cheaper just to get this one fixed. And, like I said, it was during the pandemic. I didn't want to order something and for it to get stuck in transit. It was during the holiday season. So I said, I'm just going to get this one basically refurbished. I think it cost me a couple $100 or $300, something like that, which is still less than buying one brand new. So I would say for 10 years, that's really good. It wasn't, I think I initially paid maybe 300 or 400 for it. I don't even think it was 400. It might have been around 300, and then another 300 10 years later. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, I could have bought a brand new one, but like I said, it was during a pretty bad year, and I didn't want to risk having it get stuck, in transit somewhere. So, this also helps to keep, if you do get an infection in your body. And again, during the pandemic, I was like, I need this oxygen concentrator to be working, because if I do end up getting COVID, the oxygen is going to go straight to my lungs, and it can keep infections mild. I have noticed this, because I do get some recurrent infections. And one of the things that I've noticed is that my infections are always very, very mild, to the point where I'm not sure if I have an infection. Um, and I credit that to the oxygen, because, there's people that get infections and they end up hospitalized, or they like they're really severe infections. And for me, I've noticed that whenever I do get an infection, it's relatively mild. My symptoms are not that extreme. When I do have a solid severe infection, I notice right away. But I do credit that to the oxygen, and that was something that my doctor had told me, is that bacteria and viruses can't really live, they can't really proliferate very well in an oxygenated environment. And that's why she likes for me to be on oxygen every day. I'm supposed to use the 8 to 12 hours every day. I think I average maybe 6, Monday through Friday. But I do think it has helped with that. I do feel that it helps with my light sensitivity as well, because the days that I'm not on it, I do feel kind of like more head pressure, which obviously makes my light sensitivity worse. I'm not saying that it fixes my light sensitivity. It definitely hasn't made it go away, but I do think that it helps with that. It just helps me feel better in general. I can definitely feel a difference when I'm on it and when I'm off of it. So I definitely say that this is a game changer. It's worth the expense. It is annoying to have it on, but it helps. It helps me enough that I don't mind it. So that is the second game changer. And now the third game changer. We're gonna walk to the kitchen. I'm not really gonna show you anything in particular, except for possibly a dirty kitchen. But one of the things that has been probably the biggest game changer is a change in diet. So that's the pantry over there. Changing my diet, essentially removing sugars, has been a big deal, and removing allergens. Those were the first things that my doctor had me do, even before I did any kind of antibiotics or any type of treatment. I had to remove sugar, even keep fruit to a minimum, and then remove allergens, basically being wheat, soy, dairy. It's like 5 things. Casein, obviously, that's dairy. And so I removed all of those things. It took a few months. So if you're planning on doing a diet like that, which is basically an anti-inflammatory diet, it will take a few months for you to feel the difference. But I definitely feel the difference. If I start eating sugar consistently, I absolutely notice a difference in my skin. I start breaking out, and then in my stomach, I start having persistent nausea. And it's a cumulative effect. So it takes a few days of just having consistent sugar to start feeling sick like that. It has been a big game changer. Unfortunately, my sensitivities haven't stopped. They haven't like reversed, and they have actually sort of grown a little bit. I mean, I think they've grown slowly, because I had stopped the sugar and allergens. So I still have sensitivities, but it's taken years for them to accumulate. So I still have had to eliminate more foods. I've had to eliminate histamine foods, which would be like tomato, dark chocolate. I mean, I still eat them on occasion, but I've had to be very careful. But my food sensitivities were pretty severe to begin with. So eliminating these things has not been, too devastating, because my food was already limited in the beginning. But the reason that I am so consistent with my diet is because it helps. Nausea was a huge issue before I started my diet, and I don't like nausea. That's one of the things that I can't deal with very well. I could probably deal with pain much better than I can with nausea. And the reduction in nausea was, I can't, I don't know what, I don't think there was anything else I could have done, because as I just mentioned, prescription medications don't seem to really help with issues like, acid reflux or nausea or anything like that. So, the diet has helped that. And so it gives me the motivation to continue with it, even though it's very difficult to eliminate so many things from my diet. But nausea is just something that I don't like. And I also notice that certain things that I eat will cause pain, like a little bit of joint pain. They'll make my light sensitivity worse. I'll get headaches. So it's motivation because I do feel better without those things. Obviously, this is not sustainable for the long term, which is why I've been looking into alternative treatments, which is why I'm on IVIG, because I need something that will help to sort of tamp down the inflammation so that I will be able to incorporate more things into my diet. Because obviously, the more you eliminate, the more malnourished you will become. Obviously, things like white bread, white rice, candy, those kinds of things are just empty calories, alcohol, and those things aren't really necessary for you to have to nourish yourself. But there are things like nuts, lentils, beans that would be good and that would give me some very much needed nutrients, but I can't have those things because they're high in oxalates, or things like fruit I can't really have too much of, even though there's vitamin C and other nutrients in them. So diet is a huge game changer, probably one of the biggest game changers for me, but within reason. And I think that's my biggest concern at this point is I need to get to a point where I can reincorporate some of these foods. It's been over a decade that I've had to stop eating a lot of these because I was already eliminating before I started seeing my doctor. I already knew that something was going on with my body and that I was becoming intolerant to things. So I would eliminate on my own, just by Googling and, asking, why am I feeling, why am I having these issues? And it would lead me to, oxalate sensitivity, candida, having too much sugar feeds candida. And so I would slowly eliminate those things and I would feel better. And once I started seeing my doctor, it was the same thing. She was like, yeah, you need to eliminate sugars, allergens, oxalates, and, you're eliminating almost everything at that point. But it has helped me enough that I am pretty diligent in maintaining this diet. So that's what I have for you guys today. Those are my 3 big game changers. I know that some of them may seem kind of like, not that big of a deal. Some of them are very, very difficult to maintain, but I wouldn't be so diligent with them if they didn't help me. And they do make a big difference. So in the comments, let me know what has been a game changer for you. What have you done during your chronic illness that has really helped your symptoms? Obviously, my symptoms have not been eliminated. Things are not, have not been fixed, but I do think these things have slowed the progression of my illness. They have helped me to lead a more comfortable life. I think they've also helped to keep me from being completely disabled. I am disabled, but I see other people with the same illnesses that I have and they can't walk or they're bedridden. Like I said, we're all very different, but I do think that this has helped slow the progression of my condition, even though it is still progressing. So leave your game changers in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.